What's up, everybody? Welcome in to Southeastern 14, another edition of Bets and Ball Games with Edwards and Greeson. And before we get to Jay, let's take care of a little business. We are hosted by Bet Online, which remains your top spot for all your live betting action and contest. NFL, college, well, not college football anymore, UFC and NHL in full swing. Bet Online is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. All the hoops betting action, along with every sport available at your fingertips with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to Bet Online today and remember to use our promo code BELIEVE. That's all caps BLEAV. Again, our promo code in all caps BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit with Bet Online, where the game starts. Oh, we got to talk some SEC hoops. We got to talk some. Yeah, and let's just go ahead and go right to your bread and butter as the Ole Miss Rebels are coming in to Auburn. Oh, and let's see if any of these numbers have popped, which they so beautifully did for us during the show last week.
I'm starting to.
Not. Oh, you are seeing some?
I am.
Oh, good. Because maybe I need to hit refresh on this page. Maybe that's the deal. But anyhow, let's start with okay, Ole Miss at Auburn. This is an 8:30 p.m. kick. So I was thinking 11 and a half for Auburn. I saw Ken Palm was 14. Auburn undefeated in 9 home games, 5-3 ATS. I'm not going to be surprised if this thing is like, way more. What do you? I mean, what's the point where you wouldn't take it? What number where you would not take it? Would you lay more than 15?
15 was. It's funny you say 15 because 15 was what I was thinking of, the ceiling of what I would lay.
Right.
Because here's the thing: Ole Miss's best player is gonna get heckled through the roof because it's Alan Flanagan.
Oh yeah, Auburn legacy.
Oh, and he portaled to Ole Miss, so it's going to be a rough road for that young fella. I mean, Ole Miss doesn't have the depth, and Auburn runs away from inferior teams. Now, I don't know what they're going to do against Kentucky in 3 weeks. I don't know what they're going to do against Tennessee when they see them. I mean, there are really good teams. I don't know what they're going to do against Alabama, who can score, who can put up huge numbers.
You got Alabama on Tuesday, I see.
But here's the thing. When they face a team that is a fringe bubble team and they come at you in waves, did you see what they did to Vandy the other night? I mean, it just was – I mean, it was honestly like a war of attrition. I mean –
yeah, it wasn't it like a 2-point game there mid first half. I think I changed the channel. I came back, y'all are up like 15. Like,
and then it like, just kept going, and then here come the second string. I mean, it reminds me honestly of what Spurrier used to do. I'm going to put 4 wideouts out there, and I don't necessarily have to throw to my number 1, but my number 4 is going to be better than your number 4 DB, and I'm going to pick at that scab till you can't stop it. So it's either Broom or it's KD Johnson coming off the bench, or it's the freshman point guard hitting threes. I mean, and they got like 2 point guards who look like Sideshow Bob with the head with the hair from The Simpsons. I mean, Auburn comes at you at waves, and I still, what's crazy? I think there are 3 Elite 8 teams in the SEC this year, and I think Auburn's one of them.
Kentucky and Tennessee and Auburn. Or you're not thinking Bama, are you?
No, I think
Not
Bama's
either.
flawed defensively.
Me too. But maybe a Sweet 16 team, possibly.
No, but I think Tennessee, Kentucky, and Auburn will be playing on that last Sunday to get to the Final Four.
I agree, and this is by far the most dangerous Tennessee team because they now have a elite, legit scorer in Dalton Connect that they've never had during the Rick Barnes era. I mean, they have fallen apart. Like, they put on such a clinic in the round of 32 against Duke last year on how to just be physical defense and just push these little pansies around and just make it a football game, basically, which is what they did. But then, the FAU game, they just struggled to get buckets. Round of 32 2 years ago, I had so much money on them. They're in control of that game, 8 minutes left, and then it just goes 6 minutes without a bucket, and they end up losing to Jawan flipping Howard. And but I mean, you can look at like the overs for Tennessee this year, and the totals are in the upper 150s. It's not because they still can't play defense; they can suddenly just score, and it's all about Dalton Connect.
They can score because Dalton Connect can get any shot he wants, and you're comfortable with whatever shot he wants to get. And so then, I mean, you saw it the other night because your Gators they got connected. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. I mean, he went on a 15-0 run on his own.
He scored 20 of their points in a row. He might have done a 15-0 against the Gators at one point, but he scored their last 20 points for the first half.
And then you start then figuring out, all right, we got to stop this dude. And major college basketball players getting wide open shots because this guy can create not only his shot, but wide open shots for his teammates. No, he's an offensive difference maker for a team that is one of the 2 or 3 best defensive teams in America.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I did notice when I was looking at KenPom, Auburn is not only ninth in offensive, you're ninth in defensive and offensive efficiency. But so I'm looking at your schedule. Auburn, y'all got some really good games coming up. So you after at Alabama next Saturday, you're at the Hump. The Hump's not easy this year.
Hey, the Humpty Dance is your chance to do the dance.
Yes,
and Talk to me, baby.
Hump. And then the following Saturday, you're at Ole Miss, and then you host Alabama midweek at Florida. That's not going to be a problem for you. I don't think. You get Kentucky.
You're looking down the road now. There's a Saturday that Kentucky's coming not long after Valentine's Day. And
17.
Hey, you know who has 2 thumbs and is planning to go to that game? This guy.
That guy. Okay. And then you're at Tennessee on the 28th. But the schedule's 4 of your last 5 games should be pretty easy for you guys. Okay. So you said you're not going to lay more than 15. Let me see if these spreads have popped. They popped right in the middle of the show yesterday, right when last week, and it was so beautiful. And darn it, they have not popped. So you say you'll lay anything less than 15? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And probably but we talk about this a lot of times. There's no way I play Ole Miss on this.
Oh, I know you're not. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, even if I gave you Ole Miss an 18, are you feel good about it?
I don't feel great about it, but I'm not. I would take Ole Miss before I'd take Auburn. I think at 18. I think.
We go back to the conversation of if you're gonna play it, it's got to be an Auburn play.
Yeah. No, I don't. Right. I don't disagree there. Yeah, I do not disagree with that at all. So, okay, I'd say the next best game tomorrow is going to be Bama at Tennessee. Okay, that's a 2 p.m. Eastern tip. So Tennessee is undefeated at home in 9 games, and they've won 8 of them by 18 points or more. The only one they didn't, they beat Illinois by 7. I believe that was before Shannon got suspended. So, yes. I mean, and Illinois to me was definitely a Sweet 16 team with him, and might still could be. But anyway, Bama 2-1 straight up and against the spread on the road. They've been an underdog 5 times, 2-1 against the spread with 1 win. But Bama's 4-0 in the SEC. I mentioned Tennessee's on a 10-5-1 run to the over. The over's 12-5 overall for Bama. So I wrote down Tennessee minus 5.5. Ken Pom has Tennessee at 4 with a total of 162. So let's say it's somewhere between me and Ken Pom in the 4 to 5 range. I think this is Tennessee or pass to me. What do you think?
I thought it was going to be Tennessee. I actually would be shocked if it's not Tennessee minus 7 or 8. It
won't shock me.
And because here's the thing, Alabama's not tough enough for what Tennessee's going to bring. They are not physical enough. They are not ready. You watched it on Tuesday night. Tennessee is
very physical.
Yes, very physical. They play 8 and 9 deep. They've got size coming off the bench. They rebound, and then Dalton Knecht brings a whole different kettle of fish to the conversation because he can score with whoever the best player in the league is.
And Zakai Ziegler's getting healthier every single day. He's getting more healthy.
He disrupts offenses from the very point. It's like, you know how everybody talked about Aaron Donald and Chris Jones and those guys rushing the passer straight through the middle? Zakai Ziegler disrupts
on the ball defender.
Because, I mean, he guards your point guard from 75 feet out, and he's got no idea what to do.
And I mean, being, in my high school career, being a point guard, there is nothing you hate worse than somebody that's quicker than you up in your grill for 80 to 90 feet. That is just, it's nightmare on Elm Street. And if he's quicker than you, he's probably a little better conditioned than you. And it's going to be it's going to be a long flipping night of sucking wind. And, it's just not going to be a fun night at the office.
I love Tennessee on this play. Actually, I think and you know what? Tennessee hates Alabama in everything.
Yeah,
and that place is going to be jacked.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's 24,000 in Thompson Bowling Arena. I love Tennessee. I'd lay Tennessee as much as 9.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd lay 9, but you're talking me into it a little more so as well. Yeah, I'm feeling Tennessee here. I mean, I'm thinking Bama's going to have to shoot 45-50% from 3 to be,
to even stay in the game.
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. Yep. Okay. All right. So, a team, I know we're running low on time, but a team that's starting to play a little better here and going against a team that's kind of struggling, LSU's starting to play a little bit better, especially at home. They're at home to A&M. Ken Pom's got A&M as a 2-point favorite. I hope so, because I think LSU needs to be favored, and I will be looking at LSU if they're an underdog.
Well, and here's the thing. Other than the powerhouses and the teams that are used to it, when teams go on the road favorites in conference games, be really cautious about that. Because, I mean, we saw it 10 days ago. I took a bath on Kansas going to UCF. And it turned out, of course, it's UCF's Super Bowl in basketball. And UCF wins outright. But
UCF just beat Texas. Like, what? UCF's ready for Big 12 basketball? Huh.
Well, but I was talking about,
I know.
There are a whole lot of these teams that go on the road and are given points. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, LSU's playing better. I'll tell you somebody else who I've made some money on. Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and let's get to their game. So they're at Rupp, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. BBN, Big Blue Nation, has plenty of time to get nice and sauced up before a 6 p.m. tip at Rupp. Georgia's coming in there having won 11 of its last 12, and they have covered their last 4 as an underdog with 3 outright wins. Georgia's 3-1 in the SEC, could easily be 4-0. Let a 11-point lead get away to Tennessee with like 7 minutes left.
Yeah, they went like 4 minutes without scoring.
Right. Yeah, but they did end up still covering that game. Kentucky. Okay, so I wrote down 11. Ken Palm's got it 10 and 160. I think I would have to be getting 12 to be interested in Georgia. I don't really want to lay double digits to Georgia. They're kind of a little pesky little squad.
Not only they're pesky, they guard. They're top 30 nationally in defensive efficiency, and that was going into South Carolina, and they did nothing to hurt those numbers because they were getting points going to South Carolina and they won outright. So don't get me wrong, Kentucky at home is a different beast. I mean, I wish they were playing anybody. The 2 toughest trips in the league right now are going to Rupp and going to Auburn. And so, but 11's too many. 11's too many for a Georgia team that now, honestly, I'd bet 11, and then I would look about the odds of betting Kentucky minus 25, because if it's going to be in that 11 range, Georgia's going to cover or Kentucky's going to blow their doors off. Georgia's got a stinker coming. So this one scares me. I got to tell you, I'm out on this one. I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of like my Gators tomorrow. They should be around 2.5 or 3 at Mizzou. Mizzou's 0-4 in SEC play, but the Gators are 0-3 straight up and against the spread in 3 road games where they basically just got blown out. Now at Ole Miss and at Tennessee and at Wake Forest were the games. Gators got to start collecting. I mean, this is not a quad 1 win. They got to start. They're not even in the next 4 out all of a sudden. You know, most of the bracketologists have had the Gators, you know, around the 7 to 10 seed most of non-conference play, and now all of a sudden they're not even in next 4 outs for some of these guys. So,
hey, do you think Missouri and Arkansas have quit on their coaches?
I would have said that until Arkansas found a way to beat was it A&M the other night?
Right.
So maybe they haven't quit, and they've got South Carolina at home tomorrow, where that'll be a tight line. I'm thinking Arkansas 2 or 3 on that one.
Got to go Arkansas there. Got to go Arkansas.
Yeah, if it's 3 or less, it's Arkansas or pass in my mind. And last one, Vandy at Mississippi State. I'm thinking 11.5 or 12, but Ken Palm says 16. If it's 16, I might be interested in Vandy. And Stackhouse has got to be on the hot seat, but man, he just hasn't done a good job of keeping his guys together. Like I'm talking about the off season. Like he can coach, man. Stackhouse can coach, in my opinion.
He can coach, and he's actually gotten some talent to Vandy. But the conversation we had earlier about being an in-game coach, they looked awful against Auburn the other night. I mean,
well, Auburn can make people look awful.
Matched up, and for the first 12, 14 minutes, it was a back-and-forth basketball game. And then Bruce Pearl made an adjustment, and Vandy crumbled.
Right.
So I don't know.
I just have a soft spot. They were my against the spread dream last year in late February and March. I mean, they did me so right, and they were playing so well, and he was out coaching. I mean, he beat Calipari twice. He beat Auburn. He beat Tennessee. He beat a lot of tournament teams there in late February, early March, and to just think less than a year later he's about to be gone is kind of wild for me. I'll get over it. I'll get over it. All right. All right. We got to wrap up. I feel. Oh,
you got a UFC pick.
Yes. Okay. So tomorrow night in the UFC 297 main event for the middleweight title, we've got South African Dricus du Plessis. He's 6-0 in the UFC with 5 finishes, going against Sean Strickland, and it's pretty much pick 'em. You could probably get du Plessis maybe at plus 105 or even money. I like him. And then, excuse me, for a smaller amount, get a little bit of the prop for him to win by knockout at around plus 215, maybe even plus 220 odds, but that's for less because I think he wins by knockout. Is 6 UFC wins, 4 knockouts, 1 submission, and a decision. And hopefully when we talk next week, the lifelong suffering Dirty Birds will have the GOAT as their next head coach. Knock on wood.
How long would you last in the octagon with a female fighter?
Well, if it's Misha Tate, I would try to last as long as possible, whether she had me on the ground or what. I mean,
you're trying to get some snuggling? Is that what you're saying?
I would. They're all savages. I would not last long. I would not attempt to last long. I would try to crawl out of the cage.
You just run around. You'd be doing the
woo, yeah, woo. Yeah. I like watching UFC.
Fair enough.
Gambling on UFC. I do not want to be a part of any UFC. All right.
You ever been to one live?
Oh, absolutely. I've been to the last 3 in Jacksonville. I've been to 5 live, 1 in Vegas, 1 in Atlanta, and I've been every year the last 3 in Jacksonville. And
quick side story because I know we're running out of time.
Sure.
In my heyday of heavy drinking and heavy going at Auburn, the forerunner of the UFC was the tough man competitions that they set up a boxing ring at bars in and around whatever college towns, and guys would sign up. Well, I did that. I won the first one. I won the second one. And I walked in there and I fought some dude who honestly, at this point in time, I'm 6'4", and currently I'm 230 pounds. Then I was probably 6'4", 250. And this guy was 5'11", 165. And he hit me 17 times in the belly before I even got my hands up. He was like some sort of Golden Gloves champion from the Bayou. And he wore me out. And that's the last time I ever put gloves on.
I had forgotten you were 6'4". I remember now. I mean, we've done tons of radio and whatnot over the last decade, but we haven't seen each other in 20 years.
No, probably not.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Bet Online. Good luck with all your bets. And for Jay Greeson, I'm Brian Edwards. Another one in the books. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.